It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. In today's video titled Update, Dream, J.D. Vance at Foggy Bottom, Greenland Revealed. I'm going to be sharing an update on this particular dream. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. Now, let's get into the video. So here's the original video where I shared this dream about J.D. Vance and Foggy Bottom. I was sharing how I kept having dreams and just understanding something about J.D. Vance in my dream on a particular night. And Foggy Bottom was the word that stood out to me, not knowing if it was an actual location, and it turned out it was. It was a location in Washington. I also explained the connection that this Foggy Bottom had to J.D. Vance. And again, here's the video where you can go back and hear those connections that I made. But since having this dream on March 15th of this year, 2025, and sharing that video, there have been some updates to what I know God has brought me to understand a little bit more about what this dream was about. Initially, I thought this dream was about J.D. Vance and his connection to the green cards and everything that's going on with the deportation issues and all of that, simply because I saw this green image with a line in between it in my dream. So I thought green card. And I also mentioned in that original video that I also thought about his wife, for whatever reason she fell on my mind. Well, we've seen lately a lot in the news about Greenland. And since making that original video, someone in the comment section brought to my attention that, hey, your dream is probably about Greenland. And after seeing that comment and after putting two and two together with J.D. Vance, I began to think, it began to click. And I said, yes, I totally 100% agree that this dream has to be about Greenland. So, as I continue to pray about this dream, praying for understanding, that understanding came through this way, through someone commenting on that video about this dream is possibly about Greenland. So thank you to the person who took the time to share that comment with me. So number one, this green image with a line in between, to me is showing a split, has to do with Greenland. And then thinking about J.D. Vance's wife, now I'll understand why, because she initially was supposed to go to Greenland and to do all these great things as far as visiting and sightseeing. But then some things came about, some things were canceled. And so moving forward, it became clearly understood that J.D. Vance and his wife were not welcome to Greenland, Denmark. It was just a really sour moment for both of them, which was similar to what we saw happened to him in Foggy Bottom when he went to the Riverside Kennedy Center to the orchestra, him and his wife, and they were booed. They were booed when they walked in, the people basically making them feel very, very unwelcome there. Well, again, this Kennedy Center is in Foggy Bottom, and I found that out after I had done my research and saw that this video that had been put out about him being booed at this orchestra, this Kennedy Center is located in Foggy Bottom. And so moving forward, we see more articles coming out about J.D. Vance and him and his wife being unwelcome and why. And then number four, the split that I saw, I think it represents Denmark and Greenland, simply because I heard J.D. Vance make a comment that when Greenland decides to pull away from Denmark and become independent, then the U.S. can step in and negotiate with Greenland. So it seems as if Denmark is in the way, and once they are out of the way and Greenland goes its separate way, then something can be done as far as that. But that was just a comment that I heard him make, and when I heard that comment, I automatically thought about that white line that I saw within that green image. And then two, we also see that Trump is revealing why. Why is Greenland so important? And he stated that Greenland is important simply because of world peace. They want to fend off China and Russia. And this is the need for the U.S. to acquire Greenland. So I'm sure that there is more to this, more to come as it relates to this whole Greenland ordeal. But if you want to go back and hear the entire dream about J.D. Vance and Foggy Bottom, here's that video. And what I'll do is I'll continue to let this video run so that you can hear it. I've attached that drink. I've attached that old video to this new updated video, so you have an opportunity to just hear it all in one spot. Until the next one, God bless. So there were two dreams. The first dream was very short. It had to do with me seeing a green symbol. Now, the symbol did not look exactly like this, but I knew there was a split. There were two sides to this, and green was the color that was involved. And so in this dream, I saw this green symbol several times, and each time I understood something about J.D. Vance, and that really was it. I woke up from the dream, and I'm like, Lord, you know, why is this dream associating this green symbol to J.D. Vance? And then I began to think about J.D. Vance and his family. I thought about his wife, and then I thought about, for whatever reason, green card was what came to mind. And so I got up, and well, my daughter was not feeling well, so I was up anyway. And so I got up and I began to do a Google search. And so the first thing that popped up whenever I did my Google search was this article about J.D. Vance and what he had to say about green cards, and how green card holders do not have an indefinite right to be in the United States. And so I'm reading through the article, and I'm like, okay, God, so now what? I'm confused as to where you're going with this, because I'm not sure. So then, after I finally got a chance to get back in bed, go back to sleep, my dreams about J.D. Vance continued. And so there wasn't a definite, this is what happened in this dream. It was simply the fact that J.D. Vance was understood in this dream the entire time I slept for the rest of the night. But there were two words that I heard, Foggy Bottom. And so I heard the words Foggy Bottom as I'm waking up, and it's not quite time for me to get up just yet. And so I'm still sleepy because I had been up before looking up all this with green card, taking care of my daughter because she wasn't feeling well. And so I'm half asleep, and I'm like, Foggy Bottom. I'm like, God, please help me to remember these two words. I'm too sleepy to get up and write this down. I've been up already before. Just give me some grace and help me to remember these two words, Foggy Bottom. And so before I went back to sleep, I remember thinking to myself, like, isn't that something in the cartoon Paw Patrol? And I'm going to speed through this really quick as far as Paw Patrol, because my kids come in here and see Paw Patrol on the screen, they're going to flip. So Paw Patrol. And I said, that's what I'm going to use to help me remember. This is a word that I've heard in this cartoon, Paw Patrol. So after having this dream, I finally wake up and I said, okay, God, let's get back to this word, Foggy Bottom. And so I began to do my search online, and I found two things. First thing I found was, yes, I was right. Foggy Bottom was a place that is named in the Paw Patrol cartoon. And the mayor of this town is very conniving. He's always trying to find out ways to scheme, to be number one, to get on top. Everybody's beneath him. And he is the mayor of this town outside of the Adventure Bay where all the dog heroes live. So that was search number one. I had just confirmed that I did hear that name in that particular cartoon. So then I move forward, and I am just doing a Google search for Foggy Bottom. And when I did that, not sure what I was going to find, just Foggy Bottom, I clicked enter, and what came up surprised me. Foggy Bottom is located in Washington, D.C. It is a government and cultural hub. It is a place where the U.S. Department of State is found. Also in Foggy Bottom, you will find the Riverside Kennedy Center, home of the National Symphony Orchestra, and also the area where you will find the Watergate complex. And the Watergate complex is linked to the 1970 Watergate scandal. And so now I'm like, okay, God, so something about this I remember. I remember seeing a video about something to do with J.D. Vance and the Kennedy Center the night before. And what I saw was a video of J.D. Vance being booed at the Kennedy Center. And I remember the person who was doing the video recording, they turned the camera around, and I remember saying that they were at an orchestra. And so as I'm reading through all these various places that's located in Foggy Bottom, the Kennedy Center stuck out to me because I had just seen an article and a video where J.D. Vance had been booed in that location. So currently I'm praying, asking God for understanding with all this with J.D. Vance. For whatever reason, he's given me the word Foggy Bottom, and it has brought me to a specific location that is significant to J.D. Vance and also the history of something that happened within our country as far as the Watergate scandal goes. I don't think it's a coincidence that Foggy Bottom was in that cartoon that my kids watch on a daily basis. And it deals with a political figure who's very conniving, the mayor of that town. So, God, what is the underlying message that you're trying to get me to see as it deals with this green, color green, and that symbol that I saw, and also this location of Foggy Bottom? So this is something that is to be continued. Again, I'm praying about this. If you have any thoughts, I would really like to know, what your thoughts are about this dream and this location. And just curious to know how many people knew that the location of where the Kennedy Center was and the Watergate complex and the U.S. Department of State, if you knew that it was in a place called Foggy Bottom. Like, that would be the farthest thing from my mind if someone was to ask me where was the Department of State located in Washington. I wouldn't have never thought it would have been in a place called Foggy Bottom.